Welcome back to Boring Reviews.
Boring land.
Oh, just kidding.
Blasphemer.
Hello,
right.
Boring Review Nation.
Kind of pointless.
We know all things. Hello, Boring Review Nation. Gabe.
Nick, man, that was one of your best ones. I'm going to say, not bad.
Oh, so glad to be back. Glorious, bro. I'm counting down the days of school. I got 9 days, people. 9 days of freedom.
Still, he mentions it every time. Get the countdown. Love it.
Get the countdown going. Nick, tell everybody what we're going to be reacting to today, bro.
All right. We are checking out a trailer that just got released 17 hours ago, people. That's right. We're not too far behind this one. This is called Thuramukham. It has the superstar Nivin Pauly. It also has Nimisha Sajayan, Rajeev, Sukumar, Thikapat. Those are probably some of the producers there. But the superstar, like I said, Nivin Pauly is in this film. This is a 2021 Indian Malayalam language historical drama. And it is a little bit about the story is set in the backdrop of workers' struggle against the infamous Chapa system of casual labor allocation that was practiced at the Matancherry Harbor in Kochi. And the name of the film translates into harbor, according to our man Varun, who requested this. This takes place during the 1940s, 1950s. Metal tokens called chappas were thrown into the waiting crowds of workers who had to fight for the tickets. Whoever manages to get one would be given work for the day. Wow. That reminds me of the film Cinderella Man in the Great Depression, right? These guys that were trying to get work on the docks, they had to be selected out of like hundreds of people. Just a few of them got selected, and he was going there every day, hoping and praying to be selected that day. This sounds similar to that, but can you imagine just throwing tokens? Like, can you imagine the bloodbaths that would happen in those crowds trying to get those tokens?
That's bananas, man. It reminds me of a scene from another movie. I'm not sure if you've ever seen Ip Man before, but in Ip Man, this guy, Ip Man, I should say, he was well off to do, but then when war came to his country, right? The war, I think it was Japan and China, I forget.
Yep.
Was it World War II? I can't remember. Anyway, to make a long story short, they had to go to like the same thing to get work or whatnot because they took his property, all kinds of stuff. His wife and child are now struggling, so he's going out amongst all these people to try to get selected for work. Now, they weren't necessarily fighting each other, but then the Japanese were choosing men to fight and giving them bags of rice. And we don't know that kind of desperation in our lifetime, in our generation, obviously, and thankfully we don't, Nick. But I can remember my grandmother telling me stories of in Dominican Republic, right? There was that when she was a kid growing up, and there was a civil war, and this dates back to the whole Haitian revolution, I should say, back out there, and how literally they had to go out once a week or whatnot, crawling, making sure to go get rice or whatnot. And why crawling? Because you're ducking bullets flying over your head, cousin. You know what I'm saying? So it was like once a week you go out to try to get food, and you would make sure you ration that, because every time you went out to get food, bro, for the family, you literally were risking your life. And I just think about what those older generations went through and think to myself, man, we're fortunate to be growing up in the age and era we are. And even though we're facing challenges today like COVID, it's nothing like what these old timers faced. You know what I'm saying, bro?
No, not at all. Not at all. My wife's grandparents are still alive, God willing. And they grew up through the Depression, obviously. They went through that whole thing. And just from that way of how it was so bad for those years, they're still super thrifty, super smart with their money. They have earned several different retirements and incomes, and they're good, but they are still like, they still buy the stuff on sale and whatnot because they just have that mentality. It's insane. But I could not imagine being ready to work and not grabbing that token. That would be, even if you got that day, that's great. Are you going to get it the next day? Probably not. So let's go ahead and check out this trailer. This seems very interesting. Thank you, Varun, for the request. Always looking out. Thank you for watching us, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll check this out in 3, 2, 1. So they had competitions. The it looks like. Jeez, talk about struggle. Ooh. Oh, whoa. Look at this guy. Woo! Dude,
Man,
sorry,
too
go
short.
ahead.
Too short,
I
man.
know.
You know, they didn't give us enough of the story. I mean, as a teaser, though, it got me interested in the story, obviously, and right away they sold the pain. They sold the anguish that these people are going through. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh man. To me, sometimes, bro, I don't know about you, bro, but I own a lot of films that are historical fiction, and I love them. To me, sometimes they are some of the best films because, you know, real life is stranger than fiction sometimes. Like I own Oliver Stone's JFK, and I own who made the movie Gangs of New York with Leonardo DiCaprio.
That was wasn't that Steven Spielberg? No, it was Steven Spielberg.
No,
Daniel Day-Lewis was in it.
Yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis is in it.
Scorsese? Was that Scorsese?
Yeah, okay, there you go. And oh wow, I can't. Leonardo DiCaprio's in that. That movie's amazing. But when you watch these films, man, historical fiction. I know one of your favorite movies is Glory. What am I talking about? Of course, I know you like historical fiction.
Gettysburg.
You know what I mean, dude?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, oh my gosh, this really happened. And I mean, it's a powerful story. Obviously, it's crazy to the effect, Nick, or the inhumanity that human beings will have on other human beings. You know what I'm saying, bro? And sometimes we're more cruel to our own people than others. You know what I mean? It's something when it's like country versus country, but when it's you like enslaving your own people or you know what I'm saying, abusing your own people, it's insane to me to the depths where we went to as human beings. You know what I mean? Like the level of cruelty that exists in man sometimes is just dumbfounding to me.
Yeah, I mean it's power. People who are given just a little bit of power, some people they can't handle themselves. They become savages, for crying out loud. And some of the best examples are, in my opinion, one. I mean, you can say they're both fiction. One is reality TV. My favorite show, Survivor. Right? These people are so excited to be out there, have a chance to win $1 million. They're out there in the elements. They're doing their thing. I understand it's a show. I understand they're not going to really starve or whatnot. But these people are friends and friendly. They got their business suits, all this kind of stuff. After about a week, they have a pecking order already established. They have alliances, and these people are nasty to one another. The other thing would be fiction. The show Lost. Lost is fantastic, right? But
except for the ending. Except for the ending.
Oh yeah, we don't talk about that last few seasons. Even The Walking Dead, another fictional people. When things change and it comes a little bit of power, like it's crazy. What I was gonna say, I hope that's Nivin Pauly. Because I'm not gonna lie, I did not know the superstar. Varun gave me a heads up on the guy. I think that's the guy at the end who said, "If you are the devil, I'm Satan." Or I gotta get those two words mixed up. Right. One thing I'm gonna say just from that scene, and I'm not trying to blow smoke whatsoever. I was really impressed at his ability to not just deliver that line, but his acting prowess in his face, his ability to show how confident he was in his face. I think it's very tough for people to play someone, not just the villain, because I'm not sure if he's a villain or not, but to play someone who's overconfident, someone who is just, they have that huge ego. Because usually what happens is a lot of actors, they go into that campiness vibe because it's just so hard to do. It comes off as campy and it's kind of, ha ha ha. I thought he did that beautifully. I thought he was able to have kind of that slow second and then transfer that to a smile and walk away and have like the little cigarette or whatever in his mouth. Right. I thought that was a cool little shot. If I didn't do research on this beforehand, I would have no idea what's going on. Like you said, very, very short. But just because the information and like you said, historical fiction, historical drama, I'm totally in. I love documentaries, but I would rather watch a historical fiction movie based on something that happened just because it's just, they're going to bring it in a little more of an entertaining way. So I'm all about it too. This one looks really, really good. The question is, what do you guys think about this trailer, about our thoughts, but mostly about this trailer? Let us know. Do you have any other information? We're so excited that you're able to watch this video and you're able to join and help grow Boring Reviews. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
We know all things.